Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, this is my third video in my series on refuting Orientalists on Quran and Ahadith, mainly focusing on Ahadith for now. Inshallah, I'll start doing Quran videos as well. In this video, I'll be refuting a contention made by uh, the Orientalist courtier Jeon Bol. The first video. I was refuting one of his contentions as well. In this video, basically I'm refuting this clown who is basically trying to challenge Mutawatir hadith. Yet basically to show that even Mutawatir hadith cannot be taken as a source of reliable source of knowledge about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, this video will show how pathetic and desperate Orientalists are, and how pathetic and desperate their arguments are, because these are the argument he makes is really pathetic, and I was actually shocked how pathetic this argument is. Let's get started. Basically, in his book, in chapter 3 of his book, he puts two Mutawatir hadiths under he investigates two Mutawatir hadiths to see to try to show they are unreliable. I'm doing this video is on the second of those hadiths. I'll do a later video inshallah on the first of those two hadiths as well. Here is his contention. The hadith basically is it's a famous hadith, Mutawatir hadith, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam basically said, "Whoever lies about me will have to take his place in the hellfire." This is the basic hadith. This is Mutawatir, mass transmitted. Now, this hadith basically, Junbul makes the claim that this hadith is made up by Iraqians, and that it is not present in any non-Iraqi collections, or if it is present in insignificant ways. The earliest source in which, according to him, this hadith occurs is Imam Tayalisi's Musnad. The reference from his book is given where he makes this point. Okay, now I'll start basically addressing his main points one by one and refuting the contention that he's making. He first brings up Sunan al-Nisai of Imam Nisai, who was in Egypt, right? Now he basically makes the claim that because this hadith is not mentioned in Sunan al-Nisai, right, which is an Egyptian source, so Imam Nasai did not know this hadith. Hence, how is it possible that such a widespread hadith could not reach Egypt, which was conquered by Muslims in the first half of the first Islamic century? This is his contention. Now there is a serious issue with this contention, because this assumes that if a scholar does not have a hadith in his collection, it means that he does not know this hadith. This is actually a really baseless and pathetic claim, and this is the main crux of his argument, and this will get refuted very easily and quite hilariously, inshallah, as you'll see. So the claim is this hadith is not Sunan al-Nisai, so Imam Nasai did not know this hadith, right? Funny thing is, Imam al-Nasai has another book, Sunan al-Kubra, right? In that book, there are 7 narrations of this hadith. This hadith is narrated by Imam Nasai through 7 masters. One of them is Ishaq ibn Rahaweh, and in 4 of those, Shoba appears as a transmitter. Now these were 2 people who Junbul was claiming that Imam Nasai should have gotten this hadith from. He did get this hadith from them. It is in his book Al-Sunan al-Kubra. So, I mean, this is how easy it is to refute this clown. Now, I couldn't link the references here because they are in Arabic, but I linked the study from which I got these references. In the chapter 4 of that study, page 307, the references from Sunan al-Kubra, and later on in the same chapter, other references I am using will be mentioned there. So this refutes the basic claim that Imam Nasai did not know this hadith, because in Imam Nasai's other book he quotes this hadith 7 times. Now, John Bull makes us basically claims of that this hadith is not properly present in Hijaz, or very little is known of it in Hijaz. Why? Because this hadith is not in Al Muwatta Al Malik. Now there are major problems with this claim. Firstly, no one says that Imam Malik, every hadith that Imam Malik knows is in Muwatta Al Malik. No one makes this claim. Secondly, if a scholar does not quote a hadith in one book, that does not mean he does not know this hadith, as the example of the Sunan al-Nisai showed earlier. Thirdly, Muwatta al-Malik had numerous versions. Only a few of those are known to us, so this hadith could have possibly been in those other versions. So Jionbul cannot prove his claim even regarding the Muwatta. Fourthly, Imam Shafi's Risala, which is also a Hijazi source, has this hadith with four isnads. This is a Hijazi source that has this hadith with four isnads. Junbul tries to discredit this because these hadiths are not in Muwatta, but that does not work. That, as I've already shown, is a baseless claim, because just because a hadith is not in Muwatta, that does not show that Imam Malik did not know this hadith, or this hadith was not present at the time. So this hadith is present in Hijaz, as can be clearly seen from Imam Shafi's work. Now, one of the major assumptions this clown makes, Junbul, that if a hadith is not present in a work, that means it was not known at that time period. The example of Sunan and Isai refutes this. Noel quotes something that is an even bigger refutation of this clown. Now, Imam al-Humaydi was a student of Imam Shafi, right? So, and Imam Shafi has four strong isnads for this hadith. Yet in Musnad of Imam al-Humaydi, this hadith is only present once, and that isnad is defective. So think about this point, people. Imam Shafi, the master, has four clear-cut authentic isnads. Yet in the work of his student, this hadith is only mentioned once with a defective isnad. So the authentic isnads exist before the defective isnad, right? So if a student, let's say student Imam al-Mahdi, or in this example any other student, does not quote a hadith with proper isnad, that does not mean proper isnads don't exist, because proper isnads clearly exist before that time period in case of Imam Shafi. So again, this refutes basically the assumption of Junbul, and this hadith is present in Hijaz. So again, another pathetic claim refuted. Then Junbul claims that this hadith is not present in the Jami of Ibn Wahab, because this hadith is not mentioned in the Qazib chapter, right? Now, this is actually quite a pathetic claim, because in none of the books, 6 books or any similar works where this hadith is mentioned, right? None of the 6 books or any work similar to Jami of Ibn Wahab where this hadith is mentioned, it is never mentioned in the Qazib chapter. Funny enough, this hadith is actually present in the chapter before the Qazib chapter, in the Jami of Ibn Wahab. So this clown's claim even fails in that case. Now, there was some discussion about isnads that Junbul did. It is linked in the study that I am using to refute Junbul, but I won't quote it here because it would the video will get too long, and some of it's quite complicated. But regardless, I'll just mention one point. If for anyone who wants to look at the study, should check this out. There are many cases where Junbul makes factual mistakes regarding who is a narrator, who is an authentic transmitter, who is reliable, who isn't. These are factual mistakes. Either this clown Junbul did not bother to check our sources, or he's lying about them. So I mean, this is one of the major Orientalists, and he's coming up with really pathetic stuff. It seems either he's dishonest or incompetent or both. So again, this clown says this hadith is not in the Jami of Ibn Wahab. This hadith is in the chapter before the chapter this clown is analyzing. So again, another piss poor claim by Junbul. Next up, Junbul wants to turn to other Iraqi collections. For example, he mainly goes on about Musnad of Imam Abu Hanifa. Firstly, he makes the claim that all of the things attributed to Imam Abu Hanifa are made up, He just assumes that without bothering to prove it. So, I mean, you don't need to argue when you can assume the other side is wrong, right? An assumption is not an argument. Secondly, even after that assumption, he does a brief analysis of some of the isnads of this hadith in Musnad Imam Abu Hanifa. Here he makes major blunder as well. There are three major blunders he makes here. I'll just mention one for the sake of brevity. He says that Imam Abu Hanifa is never mentioned as a student of Imam Zuhri. This is factually wrong. There are references for Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh being a student of Imam Zuhri. So, I mean, this clown should either check the sources before making such false claims. Either is so he doesn't get refuted so easily. I mean, these claims are just piss poor. So again, the references are in the dissertation, chapter 4 of the dissertation I linked before. I hope you have seen in this video how pathetic and desperate Orientalists are and how easily their claims are refuted. This clown Bull tried to refute Mutawatir Hadith, yet, I mean, you can see his efforts. He's just made a fool of himself, and that this clown is supposedly an authority in the field of Hadith. This is how pathetic these Orientalists are. And you don't need to take my word for it, the references are all there. I mean, this level of incompetence is just mind boggling. Inshallah, I'll keep making more content like this. Do check out chapter 4 of the study that I linked in the video description for the references. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum.